This is the first analysis piece from page 163. I want to walk you through this one with a fairly detailed analysis, specifically focusing on how we analyze the modulation. So they've given you some pointers here that this begins in B flat, and they tell you that it modulates from B flat to F. I actually want to start by going through and just labeling chord symbols, because that's going to be helpful, I think. And they've told us this is where each chord falls. So we can primarily look at the left-hand arpeggiation with looking to the right hand for confirmation. We see that this is B flat all through this measure. This is an F7 chord. This is a D major chord, chromatically altered, some kind of secondary dominant. Here we've got G minor. Here we've got B, D, F, A flat, B fully diminished 7. This is C minor. And right here, this is a B flat chord over F, which goes to F7. And you may recognize that as our formula for the cadential 6/4. I'm just going to write that in. Here we've got B flat, again for the entire measure. This is C7, B flat, C, E, G, B flat throughout the measure. This is F major, G minor, this is F major over C, and this is C7 going to F. One thing you want to look for when you're modulating is not only the change to the key signature of a new key, but also a confirmation of that key, usually with a cadence. So if we look here, this first phrase, imagine this melody in your mind, and the phrase takes us to here, and then this leads us in. At this point, we're on a 5 chord, so this is a half cadence, and this 5 chord is the 5 chord in B flat, so we have not modulated. So at this point, it's fairly simple to go through and label 1, 1, 6, 5, 7, 5, 6 of 6 to 6. B fully diminished 7 is 7 diminished 4, 3 of 2 to 2, 6. And that takes us through, and this whole first section is all in the key of B flat. The second phrase begins on the 1 chord in B flat, but let's look ahead to the very ending. And do you see this prolonged C in the bass resolving up to F? That's 5-1 in the key of F. And if you look at this, this is 2, 6, cadential 6/4, 5-3 with a 7 going to 1. So at this point, we have modulated into the key of F. What we want to do is think about the relationship between B flat major and F major. B flat has 2 flats, F major has 1 flat. So to get the proper notes for F major, we have to take away the E flat, the second flat, and it must become E natural. Those would be our leading tone to F. So since we know we're in F at this point, let's start scanning backwards for any E naturals. Okay, so there's an E natural. Here's an E natural. Throughout this measure are E naturals, and this is within a chord that has an E natural in it. Okay, if you look before that, that is the first appearance of E natural. And from this point on, we have E natural. Before this, we've had all E flats. So this chord right here is the first chord that's only in the key of F. This chord is not in the key of B flat. So at this point, we have 5, 4, 2 to 1, 6 in the key of F. So now we want to go to the chord right before this, which is this chord right here. And this is a B flat chord. And you ask yourself, does B flat exist in the key of B flat? Of course it does. Does B flat exist in the key of F? It does. It's the 4 chord. So this right here is our common chord. This B flat chord is both 1 in the key of B flat, where we come from, and it's 4 in the key of F. So this modulation, we had this first phrase solidly in the key of B flat. We did have tonicization throughout, but we cadence, and the cadence confirmed that we were in the key of B flat. In the second phrase, our cadence defines that we're in the key of F, because we go 5, 1 in the key of F with a very strong perfect authentic cadence. So then to determine the point where we modulate, we considered the relationship between the keys, and we look for the spot where E flat becomes E natural. We scan backwards from that cadence. This is the first E natural. So from this point on, the music is acting like it's in the key of F major. So then we want to go back to the chord right before that and ask, is that our common chord between B flat major and F major? And since this is, it's a 1 chord in B flat and a 4 chord in F. That is the point of our modulation.